Welcome to the Sisterhood of Limitless Living. I'm Dr. April Moreno, autoimmune wellness researcher and professional helping women around the world to live their best possible lives despite the autoimmune condition. Listen in as we speak on various topics about the autoimmune journey and interview amazing and inspiring women who are living and thriving despite their autoimmune condition. Let's get started. This episode of the Sisterhood of Limitless Living podcast was brought to you by the Autoimmune Mindful Wellness course. This is a signature course designed by Dr. April Moreno on how to help you get your autoimmune condition under control by gaining awareness of what brings full spectrum wellness to your life. This is a course of 4 modules on the foundations of mindfulness and how they apply to autoimmune conditions, in addition to some guided practices for autoimmune wellness, focusing in on healing thoughts for your autoimmune condition, in addition to visualizations for pain relief. You can pick up the Autoimmune Mindful Wellness course at bit.ly/automindwellcourse. That's bit.ly/automindwellcourse. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sisterhood of Limitless Living podcast. The holidays is an interesting time, especially with autoimmune conditions. I mean, just in general, people having the holidays and going through all the family stuff and all the emotions of all of it from the past and the relatives and the noise and meeting new people sometimes and meeting relatives, meeting little kids. It's a lot. And then everybody's dogs too. So we often have everybody's dogs coming around to our holiday events. And what's really fun is that our holiday events are pretty multicultural. Sometimes we definitely have turkey, we definitely have stuffing, but sometimes we also have like sushi. We'll have noodles, we'll have rice, and it's really fun. Actually, my favorite meal at Thanksgiving is sushi. And I know one of my sisters, their favorite meal is the Chinese chicken salad. So the turkey's all right. It's kind of like a background. It's kind of like a have to have, supposed to have, but it's not really the most delicious thing on the table for Thanksgiving. And I'm curious if any of you are multicultural as well, with multicultural families, what is a favorite Thanksgiving meal? I wonder if it is turkey. It could be turkey fried rice, heck, turkey tacos. I come from this multicultural family. We have tamales, we have rice, we have egg rolls sometimes too. That's always a great favorite as well. We have all these different holiday favorite meals. That's something to look forward to as well. And the turkey is just kind of a background. It's not the main dish. We got to have it because it's Thanksgiving, so it'll be there on the table, but it's not what we look forward to, I don't think. I know I don't. So today we're going to be talking about how we manage the holidays with autoimmune conditions. There are a lot of different tips that we could share with one another so that we can be prepared and ready for what is to come in the coming weeks, the coming days, and how we can stay with strong peace of mind and in physical health and stability and be able to get through this without fatigue or undue fatigue or pain, headaches, and traumatic reenactments from the past. So, I mean, it's family. It happens a lot. A lot of people don't always have perfect families. Some of us have pretty messed up families. Some of us have okay families. So it's just like this whole spectrum of different types of ways that we interact with people. And it's this extra level when you're dealing with an autoimmune condition and how you're going to interact with people. Let's say this is the first time you've actually been diagnosed and go out there and speak to the family. You don't know who knows. What are you going to do about this? Like, how do you deal with this? Or let's say you've had something for many years and maybe some people know, some people don't know. And so there's just all these different dimensions and different issues that run through our minds and that we have to prepare for as we head out to meet the families for the holidays. That question came up, how do you manage the holidays over the seasons? How do you manage with an autoimmune condition? That's what this episode is about. So the first thing is, I was going to put this one last, but let's do it and do it first. I mean, we talked about families, we talked about relatives. So how much does your family know about your autoimmune condition? Is it like maybe there are other people in your family that are dealing with very severe conditions? Maybe they're much older. Maybe there's been like losses in the family. You know, these are real issues and real things that happen in families. Maybe they know about it, and that's one possibility. And then there's also the situation of just how much do we want to share? I know, like in my case, it's been a few years now. Remembering that it took me about 2 weeks to really come to terms with it. Maybe it took me 2 months to really let it hit home and realize that, yes, I really do have this diagnosis. It took probably about 2 months. So relatives and information, this is personal. There's no rule. There's no specific way for us to interact with our families. There's no one way to do this. Family dynamics are different, and maybe some relatives know and some relatives do not. Like in my case, I'm okay with people knowing that I have an autoimmune condition. I'm okay with the world knowing that. I'm okay with advocating for autoimmune wellness and health. But what I'm not comfortable with is people just sharing the full details of everything, because at this point, it's not beneficial for the professional world that I'm trying to continue to engage with. And just like my physician said very early on, very wisely told me early on, be very cautious how you present yourself. You're a researcher, you're at the university, you're building your career. Sometimes these things, people have a hard time thinking about you as something else beyond this disease. And that's the reality. Sometimes we just have to look out for these different little things. But anyway, so that's the first question that arose. Just how do you interact with families? What I often do is, if I'm going through a relapse or something, I'll just very specifically discuss the issue. I'm okay with talking about the specific, okay, today I'm feeling fatigue, I'm feeling a little bit of numbness, feeling a little bit of just not quite feeling well today. So I need a little bit of rest. I'm going to go and sit back. Okay, so now here we go. So we're going to go to this family gathering, and I'm going to go and say hi to everybody. But then now I'm going to go to another room and just sit and relax for a little while if possible, where it's a little quieter. Maybe go outside, get some air, get some relaxation, maybe bring some headphones and listen to some calming music every so often. Just step away from the noise and all the interactions and all the energy. I mean, maybe that's even just an introvert thing, but it's also the fact that sometimes we just have to prepare our energy levels and manage our fatigue and our anxiety. Then there's also the issue of the road, traffic, getting there. Totally okay to take breaks. If you're the one driving, or if you're not even the one driving, if you're sitting there, but it's still exhausting, maybe your legs are starting to hurt from the road trip. Maybe if you're flying, if you're waiting at the airport, maybe the weather starts to go really bad. Getting up, walking around every so often. If you're at the airport, go ahead and borrow the wheelchair, because you need to manage your energy for what is about to happen with the family, with the travel, with all the unexpected. If you need the wheelchair, there's no issue with the wheelchair. I love the wheelchair. I love the wheelchair in Vegas in the summer. I love the wheelchair when there are a lot of different steps along the journey. If I'm going to get on like 2-3 different flights, it's really crowded. There are time lags between flights and I've got to wait around. I've got luggage. I am sitting in the wheelchair. Okay, so don't be afraid of the wheelchair. It is your friend. It's there to help you deal with fatigue if you need it. On the road, in the car, getting out of the car, taking breaks, making those stops as needed. If you see a rest stop coming up ahead, stop at the rest stop. Don't worry about what time you're going to get there. If you're going to be a little late, it's okay. Personal boundaries, personal wellness, standing up and self-advocating. Take those breaks, get off the road if you need to. If you're driving, switch drivers as needed. And then again, if you're traveling with a lot of people, I know I have a lot of younger siblings. So there were times when there was crying, screaming in the car, a lot of noise, and getting those headphones, listening to some calming music, earplugs, whatever you need to do to maintain your wellness is important. And then we get into the issue, okay, you're there now. So what kind of dietary needs are you looking at? Being able to prepare the different dietary needs. So people are on AIP, autoimmune protocol. Some people are on the paleo diet. Some people are on Whole30. Some people are on all these vegan, plant-based diets. Being prepared for that. And these are tips that are universal for everybody. Bringing over the snacks or bringing that extra dish, preparing that meal in advance, and being able to share it with people so that you're prepared to be able to eat whatever it is you want to eat. And you get there and you see what's available, and there's nothing that you can eat and you don't feel comfortable, at least you brought a dish that you can eat. And make sure you get that first serving so that other people haven't come around and been eating all your food that you need to eat. But put aside your extra serving and prepare that aside for yourself. Okay, so just being proactive and being prepared for the holidays is really useful. And so that's going to keep you ideally in mental stability. That's going to keep you from overexhausting yourself. And I mean, the reality is maybe the next day some of us are going to need some rest, and that's okay. But minimizing that level of fatigue and that level of stress as much as possible. And I think that's pretty much everything that I had here in terms of managing autoimmunity over the holidays. Getting plenty of rest the day before, packing whatever it is that you need the day before your trip, getting all your house cleaned up maybe 2 days in advance. Let's say like Thanksgiving, for example. I would recommend maybe cooking the meal on maybe early Wednesday morning, something like that, if possible, so that you're not super stressed out on the day of Thanksgiving. You're not super stressed out on the day of Thanksgiving. Getting as much as you can in advance, maybe doing some meditation the morning of your trip to go out to the plane or your trip in the car. Doing some meditation and some stretches and some exercise before you head out on the road is really going to help you. Take that lavender tea, take some calming pills, take some vitamins with you. So all the self-help and the wellness things that you already know of, just prepare those in advance, carry those with you. Go there, be prepared to have a good time. Remember everybody with the feelings of goodness and joy and love, and just love everybody. So just focusing on the good times, preparing for seeing all the wonderful people that are part of your family, remembering all the wonderful things about everybody so that all those tensions and family dramas don't have to arise because. So health first, mental wellness, physical wellness first. Those are my tips for how to navigate the holidays with an autoimmune condition. All right, well, take care. Thank you for listening to the Sisterhood of Limitless Living podcast. I hope this information has been beneficial and helpful for you. Follow us on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher, and leave us a review, or follow us on the Facebook group, the Sisterhood of Limitless Living Facebook group, or visit me at www.aprilmorenophd.com. Take care.